Hello and welcome. I'm so glad you're here. Today, we are talking about how you can use your emotional theme in your human design chart in order to create boundaries for yourself. Now, I love human design because, especially when you're a sensitive or an empath and you're not used to knowing what it is that you need, your human design emotional theme is a really great way to give you that information. So, the emotional theme in human design is it tells you whether you're living your design or not. So this just means to live your design in human design. This just means, are you in alignment with your own integrity, with your own energy? So, if you're not in alignment with your own integrity and your own energy, it could mean that you put other people before yourself regularly. It could mean that you cut yourself off from the truth, your truth. It could mean that you've been forcing things to happen from your mind as opposed to being deeply connected to your physical body and living in integrity with your physical body. Or it could just mean that you haven't given yourself enough time to rest because we all need rest despite the conditioning that we receive. So each type has an emotional theme that tells you if you're living in your not self or not living your design. And I'm going to go through each of these types so that you get an understanding of what this means and give you an example of a boundary that you can set for yourself. So we'll start with the manifestors. Manifestors make up less than 9% of the population, and manifestors are here to inform and initiate. If a manifestor is not living their design or they are out of integrity, a manifestor is going to feel the emotional theme of anger. Or one of my listeners, watchers, called it turbulence, which I love. So, manifestors are going to feel anger or they're going to feel turbulence, an internal experience that feels like anger. This means that you may not have informed properly. You may not have informed, let people know with your voice what it is that you're up to. You may have been cut off from your creative flow, meaning you're letting other people dictate where you want to go and what you need to do. So a boundary in regards to this for a manifestor is to make sure that you start speaking, practicing activating your voice and speaking what it is that you are doing. This isn't about asking permission, it's simply informing people. Now, a lot of manifestors are going to have to practice this because you've spent a lot of time choking back your words. So, a boundary you can create for yourself is to start speaking what it is that you're doing. Speaking what it is that you're doing, even if there's no one around, to simply inform yourself, I am doing this thing. I am connecting to this thing. This is what is important to me. And that will help mitigate the anger or the turbulence that you might feel as a manifestor if you become disconnected to your creative flow. Okay. So generators and manifesting generators, you make up about 70% of the world's population. And generators and manifesting generators are the same type. You both had to have a defined sacral. And that means you are here to respond to your outer environment. You get a gut, yes or no, in you when you are engaging correctly with your environment. You operate from your gut response. Now, generators and manifesting generators are going to feel the emotional theme of frustration when they're off kilter with their integrity. Frustration is simply a sign that perhaps you need to rest. Perhaps you need more information. Perhaps something somewhere you have forced along the way. Frustration is a sign for your human design type To get back into integrity is to take a step back, to rest, to go get a glass of water. Often I see generators and manifesting generators in this place of frustration because they've completely lost touch with their bodies. They get so focused on one thing that they forget to drink water, they forget to go to the bathroom, they forget to go outside and get sunshine. So a boundary for a generator and a manifesting generator is to, when you're feeling frustration, take a pause and step away from what you're doing and ask yourself, does my body need something right now? Now, projectors are make up a little less than 20% of the population. And projectors are here to guide, and I'm a projector myself. We are here to wait for recognition and the invitation. Recognition piece is super duper important for projectors first, because we can get invitations from people who don't truly recognize us. So the emotional theme of a projector, if you are not living in alignment with your design, meaning you are out of integrity, is that you start to feel bitterness, or some projectors resonate more with the word resentment. And this is a sign of a few things. You're tired. You need to rest. Projectors need rest. We have open sacrals, which means we are amplifying sacral energy of all of the generator types all the time when we're out and about. So we need time alone to be on our own. Bitterness and resentment is also a sign that you may have engaged in a relationship or a project with someone or a company or a business who doesn't truly recognize you. And it's important to realize that recognition is not about um, someone thinking they recognize you, but how you feel. So a boundary for a projector is, do you know what it feels like to be recognized? Do you know how you feel when you're recognized? Very, very important boundary for a projector to really notice that for yourself. And then if you're feeling bitter or resentful, the boundary that you need to create for yourself is to create some space. I might need to rest, right? If a projector is feeling bitter or resentful, rest is really important. Time to reflect on what's really going on and getting out of the aura of other people. Okay. And then last are dear reflectors. So, reflectors are lunar beings. This means they have no centers defined. Reflectors are they are here to literally reflect to us ourselves back. And when reflectors are not living their design or out of alignment, they experience the emotional theme of disappointment. And this is a sign for a reflector that you have been seeing the potential of someone or a situation. The potential keeps you living in something that is not actually truly existing in this moment. It's in some other timeline that you're tapping into. Disappointment also happens when you have pushed yourself to make a decision faster than you feel ready to, and if that you need rest and you need to be on your own. So a very beautiful boundary for a reflector is to speak that they need time before they make a decision. Another beautiful boundary for a reflector is speak that they need time, that you need time for rest, that you are in refusal to push yourself. So these emotional themes are not just about I've done something wrong. I'm not living my design. No, they're like what Abraham Hicks calls, they're reflections of contrast for us to get us back onto our path, to get us back into living in alignment. If I start to feel bitter or resentful, I know that the boundary I need to create for myself in that moment is to cultivate as much rest as I require. I know that it's really important to take that feeling of bitterness or resentment and to go, oh, where am I living out of my integrity of my human design type right now? This would be the same as a manifester. I work with a lot of manifestors who have this bubbling up turbulence or anger inside of them. And manifestors really, really, really need to be free to move throughout their life without being interrupted, without needing to explain themselves. And so, if a manifestor is experiencing anger, manifestors need to have that boundary. You need to have that boundary for yourself where you actually start practicing saying, I am doing this thing. I am taking time to rest. I'm going on a walk. I don't want to talk to anybody. I want to eat this for dinner. I want to go to this movie. It's not about asking permission. This is where manifestors often go off kilter is they're looking, especially the women sensitive manifestors that I work with, they get taken off because they're so attuned to the needs of other people. They forget that what you are here to do is to inform. I'm doing this thing. And when you start to do that, that anger, that turbulence, all that is your creative energy that is so aligned with the quantum field, the universe, God, whatever you want to call it. And it gets cut off because people are asking you what you're doing or people are trying to control you. Manifestors are not here to be controlled. For generators and manifesting generators, that frustration is a gorgeous sign that you simply require rest or a distraction or to focus on something else. You need to gather your momentum again in your sacral so you can respond to the next thing. Frustration often also has to do with you not having anything to respond to, and then you're forcing something. So, the best thing you can do is start to engage with your outer world. When response happens for a generator or MG, happens in the tiniest thing. You walk into the kitchen and you see a glass of water and you get a gut, "Aha, I'm gonna drink some water." You open the fridge and you go, "No, I don't need any food." You step outside and you see your shoes and you go, "Aha, I'm gonna go for a walk." This is you being in response, and that response will lead you to the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. This is such a powerful boundary for generator types, generators and MGs to really lean into to go, I'm not getting a response right now. I need to be in response. Ask me a question. I need to go for a walk, whatever it might be. And for the reflectors, I have a dear friend who is a reflector. And what I would love to share with reflectors is to really be sure that you are seeing people for who they show you to be. This means that sometimes you might need to actually take space from a relationship. You might actually, and this goes for every type, but I'm specifically speaking to the reflectors right now. You might need to really pull back from someone and really tap into if you are tapping into their potential or if you're actually tapping into the truth of who they're showing you to be right now, because that disappointment for a reflector, that takes you out and you make it all about yourself. I must be doing something wrong. Something I have done may have been incorrect. So that boundary for a reflector is to go, whoa, if I'm in disappointment, I need to take space. I need to be in my own energy and feel what's truly going on here. Okay, so just to wrap it up, the emotional theme in your human design gives you your clues as to what your boundaries need to be to start. Generator types, you generators includes many Jennies, you need to be in response to life. You let people know, "I don't know what to choose because I need a gut response." You don't make decisions from your mind, you make decisions from your gut response. Manifestors, you inform, you let people know, "I'm doing this thing." You are not asking people for permission. You are simply stating, "I am doing this thing." You can ask people to come along with you, but you live in your alignment with source energy that moves you forward. Okay. Projectors, recognize yourself, get in front of the mirror, recognize yourself, look at yourself and say, I see you. I see you. This is good for everybody to do. But know, projectors know what it's like to feel what it feels like to be recognized. That's gonna make a huge difference when someone comes along and gives you an invitation, whether they truly see you or not, or they're projecting onto you. And reflectors, if you start feeling disappointment, take space. Ask yourself the question, am I tapping into their potential or am I seeing this person for who they are? Have I rushed myself? Have I forced myself to make a decision before I was ready? Thanks so much for watching, everybody. You can drop a comment. Let me know your human design type and what your emotional theme is, and maybe what you would like to do with boundaries. How you can use your emotional theme as boundary. Thanks so much for watching.